Hello, Fatality Workers. This is Blackflame from the Fatality Company, and I once slapped a llama with a wet glove. Welcome to special episode 1 of TCC Blackflame Edition. Yes. I'm struggling to understand what to call this. Should it be the Cavers Chronicles BF Edition? Should it be TCC BFE? I'm not entirely sure. But today's special episode, I'll be going over the redstone like I said that I would before. I'm not going to be going over it, I'm just going to show you it, basically. And I have dirt and smooth stone to help me with that. Alright, this is the lighting system. Here you can see the split off for all of the different torches for all the inputs. And basically, this wiring, I've made it so much more compact in my other world. The only reason it's less compact here is because I needed to get it over here to run it back under itself to get to the display board and up to actually all of the lights. See, every time I come in here, I see this coal. And I say to myself, you need to mine that coal at some point. And then I walk on, because when I'm in here, I'm only showing people redstone, and then I end up leaving to keep showing them around my base. And I've never been in here to mine it. But yeah, once it gets to this point here, it splits off. So all of these four are the four directions, and that's the master switch. Right. So once they come under here, they're all split off. You can see the master down there, and then all the different ones, into these really long wires that run under the room itself, under the floorboards where the nether portal is, and up here. Now this is where it runs into the four display torches that show which ones are actually active or not. I'm actually pretty proud of this. It's actually really quite compact a little bit going into the 4x4. But then, if we go all the way back here, this is why this project took so much redstone, by the way. The actual mechanics behind it are simple, but the wires were so long because I had to run them to every corner of my base that it just was terrible. But yeah, the other way that the redstone goes, you see it comes across here. Well, it also goes into these torches, which carry it up here. Now this is the master on-off switch, these pistons here. This is where the master on-off switch actually leads to. And basically how it works is these repeaters send power through this block to this wire here, which goes off the lights. So if the master off switch is on, well, I suppose if the master on switch is off, should I say, all these pistons raise up so the power can't get through anymore. So none of the lights can be on. And basically these just loop round into the lamps themselves. I'll try and find an example here. This is actually the wall, like the inside wall of my base. Ah! What happened then? I like glitched into the wall. But yeah, this is the basic setup I've just got into them. The wire runs into the back here through a repeater every time. Now, I probably could have just like put a repeater here, and the wire probably would have powered all the way along. But I really like the effect it gives for it to power one after the other. More coal there. You know, it reminds me of like those warehouses, you know, the big ones that people walk into, flick a light switch and goes all the way down it. That's what it always reminded me of. Yeah. So that is the really all over the place, horrible looking wiring of the lighting system. Which I really should have just had a button that turns them all on and off. Because I don't even need a controller. I could have put a torch up there. Why would I need to turn these off? It's more for show, really, isn't it? While I'm here, I suppose I can show the wiring for the netherwort farm. It saves me having to come back to it later. I'm not going to show the wiring for the skeleton farm, because that's painfully simple. It's more or less just a lever hooked up to some torches that controls the piston. So if I knock this bit of nether brick out here, see, it's actually in a cave. But that's the button where it inputs, just there. The button was originally where this sign is, but for some unknown reason, the pulse former here didn't work. Basically how it works, redstone prolonged bit goes in here. And the good thing about pistons is they're not actually solid blocks, so the wire actually doesn't get cut off by it. But not only does it not get cut off by it, but it also powers the piston at the same time. So what ends up happening is the power gets through for one tick of time before this extends and cuts the wire off. So only one tick's long power gets through. And then this is the pistons are just... Oh, crap. The pistons themselves are just under that. So that just powers them. and then there's a 4-tick delay along here before it powers these pistons. So more or less, it gives a quick pulse one way, so the pistons push and retract again to push the gridded pattern of soul sand and sandstone across, and then the other ones fire 4 ticks later and push it all back again. Now, if anyone hasn't watched Etho's video explaining why it's got to be cross patterned, why can't I just have it as soul sand? The reason is because soul sand's very odd in the fact that if I put soul sand, say here, the nether wart wouldn't pop off. It would just move onto that bit of soul sand underneath it, and then keep there when it moved off. This would get popped off because of the sandstone being there, and this is going to get popped off because of the wall. But if all of this was was slow sand, soul sand, old habits die hard, you know. Then only that one would actually get popped off by it. So you know you've got to crisscross it. I've still never finished this room. All of this is supposed to be nether brick, and I've just never come back to it. It's functional, and I've just I don't use it. Hey, Pigman. Onwards. I'm going to also, for the 4x4 door and the combination lock, I'm going to show you the wiring, but I'm also going to link you to CMB Minecraft tutorials on it, which is where I learned to do it. By the way, Misa's texture pack's updated, so that it now includes the emerald blocks and a few other things that I'll be pointing out in my next actual LP. But look at how shiny the emerald block is. Oi. Back, you. Back. You're not going through there and getting stuck like your brother. Quick. Right. So, leading down here is... I've got to be very careful in here. I came down here a couple of days ago because I could hear something walking on wool. And came down here and there's a creeper at the back there. If a creeper went off in here, I would be done for. I think I'd just facepalm for hours. But yeah, this is the wiring. It's super complicated. I don't understand most of it. I'm not good at redstone myself. I just really enjoy overcomplicated mechanisms. So, you know, I use tutorials by other people to make the things for me. Of course, I credit them, like I said. I'm not like saying, yeah, I made this myself. I'm amazing. I'm saying, you know, it's someone else's. I'm just copying it because, you know, they made a tutorial. Why not? There's iron there. I leave ores all over. Oh, look, more coal. I leave ores all over the place. And this is the wiring for the combination lock, which I do actually understand how it works. More or less, this is the splitting bit. It's kind of like what I did for my own redstone with the lighting system, but more complicated because, of course, there's 9 pins for it to come off of. In fact, in my design, there's more than that because of the reset button, which I can't seem to see here. For the life of me, I can't remember how the reset button works now. Odd. I'm sure I remember it some, but oh, god damn it. It's good if I can get out of there, isn't it? Yeah, basically, all these repeaters and that one bit of redstone all run into these bits, and you can see where the torches aren't is the combination for the door itself. This row here is purely for the noise that it makes whenever you hit something, which is that. You know, I just like adding note blocks to random redstone circuits. I actually mean to add some to the 4x4 piston door, so you don't just hear pistons when you open it. But yeah, basically how it works is if you press a wrong button, the torch turns on, and activates this purple line, which resets all of the RS NOR latches along here. And basically how it works is, if you press this one, it'll reset those 3, but it'll flick this one onto the next one. And then when you press this one, it'll reset the first one, but before it resets the first one, it'll activate the second one. That's why there's delays and stuff. And basically it just keeps going like that. So basically the power will move through to that RS NOR latch, to that one, and then eventually, when you press the 4th digit correct to that one, and run all... Wow, I just froze them for a second. All the way along this green line to this, which is my Zelda tune that only this note block's too far away, so you never hear it. And out to the output, which is that way. This blue line here is the reset input. Oh, there it is. So you press the button there on that piece of obsidian. Y goes in there, powers downwards with the repeater. And basically how that activates is it basically just activates all of the purple lines on its own, along with along with 2 note blocks as it goes, which is nice. And where does this power go, you may ask? Well, where the power goes is down this way. Another quite long wire. Lots of repeaters in it. Just looks like random tunneling. This is the center of the nexus point, which is where my vault is, that I showed you before. And this is the activation for the staircase. So it just basically spirals all the way down. And this is a master override switch. Should anything ever go wrong, I can just go and get into my vault anyway. Which I tend not to use, because, I mean, what's the point of building a combination lock if you're not going to use it? I'm trying to think what else Redstone there is to actually show. Specials are supposed to be shorter than regular episodes, but I don't know whether this one will be on it, seeing as last one was a tour. That was weird, I jumped back again then for a second. That seems to have been happening on all servers that I've been on recently. Like, I'll spawn into the game, there'll be no sound, I'll run forwards, and then to kind of reset me back and sound will start. I suppose the next bit of redstone will be here. This actually I made myself, my own design for. That's not a good place to break in. I'm really cautious about breaking stuff in here, because I barely remember how I did this. Yeah, that's the input there. This wire I don't think is actually necessary anymore, so I can get rid of that. Oh no, that's the button. I'm stupid. Yeah, I was thinking that because there used to be a second button over here somewhere that I was trying to link to the other side of the door but didn't work. But yeah, the button goes into a charged toggle latch. And basically the reason it's called a charged one is because it's constantly on. It basically means normally a toggle latch will be off state, and then you'll power it with a button, and then as soon as the hour stops again, it'll switch states. Whereas with a supercharged one, it switches straight away because it's constantly powered, which means it's just a bit faster. I actually remade this. This is the other wire coming off from the button on the other side of the door, which is just there. Yeah, I actually remade this without these little circle bits and stuff like that. I made it a lot smaller, like half the width and about the same height. But yeah, this is the jab door bit here. There's another 2 pistons there, and that runs to the pistons to extend them when they're out, and that's the back pistons that close to conceal the pistons at the back of the jab door. Now what I didn't bring with me is a piece of stone brick. Now there's one of these that I broke before. It was that one. But yeah, this is for the block replacer bit. Now you may have seen the piston above when I was across in here. Can't see it from here. That pushes the normal blocks out. But here's the stairs with a double piston extender. Is that wood? Why have I put that on wood? Huh. That's going to confuse me forever now. Damn glitchy repeaters in 2 high spaces. This is another one of those pulse shorteners that I was on about before. Trust me, I don't know how this works, and yet I designed it myself. Trial and error, mostly. But yeah, so when you open the door, the 2 blocks up there that are out now, you can just see them up there with the pistons extended. They pull back, and then this double extender goes up and puts the stairs in place to let you out. I can't get out here, can I? Build it with dirt. So yeah. Ta-da! I reckon that that's about all of my redstone. In fact, no, that's a lie. There's one last thing I can show you. And then I'll get on to recording episode 2 because I plan on releasing both of them tonight. Well, tonight for me, I don't know what time other people are in. I don't know how many episodes I'm going to actually release. I ran past it. This is really simple. It's just basically 3 sticky pistons, 1 under each of these, and this just powers them. Simple. That is even more simple. There's basically just a dispenser behind that button, and dispensers can shoot through blocks. So it's there. This one I've changed so many times. But, I can't actually... I'll have to... Yeah, that's the old staircase to get out, but I filled the wall in where it used to be. Yeah, this down here is the input. That's where the pressure plate is. Comes down, redstone on top of there. That's the test button just around that corner that I used to use to toggle it while I was down here. Into another supercharged toggle, which the output runs up here, splits. I'm not sure why it goes that far. I'm not going to change it because I've changed it so many times and it didn't work, and then it worked again. Then I decided, you know, I could make it more efficient and changed it again, and it broke it. I'm just going to leave it this time. And yeah, it basically just pushes the 2 rows of pistons up and breaks the melons. Now, if at the start of the video you was confused as to why I was carrying smoothstone around with me to show you the redstone, now you know why. So I can fill it back in again and make it prettier. Even though this place is ugly and I'm going to make a better melon farm eventually. And of course, as I leave, I press the pressure plate again, opens the door and pulls all the things down so they can grow back. Oh, I think that's it. So, thank you for tuning in to special episode 1, and I'll see you guys in episode 2. It's Blackflame, signing off.